The British Truck Racing Championship 2017 brought to you by Goodyear and Towergate Insurance. A very warm welcome to sunny Pembrey in South Wales for round 2 of the 2017 British Truck Racing Championship.
Dave Jenkins, a great start to the season at Brands Hatch, some very strong finishes from the Diagraph truck, and Pembrey, you're renowned for have some good stuff here as well.
Yeah, it's just like we keep saying before, it's got very, very difficult this year. There's a lot of good, a lot of good kit here, a lot of good drivers here, so it's all about going to be consistent this year and keep turning the good results in.
I was going to say, you've got people like Ray Coleman now and things like that up in the front end, so it just makes that job that little bit harder.
Yeah, we have 4 different winners or something at Brands Hatch, so there's a lot of very good kit here. But we went well yesterday in testing. We've qualified all right this morning, so we'll see what happens in the race now.
Stuart, round 2 of the 2017 season and leading Class 1, so not a bad start.
Yeah, absolutely. Great start. The truck, we didn't have any chance to test it before, but went to Brands the first round and won the first race of the year, which we're over the moon with that, considering it was just straight out the workshop on the trailer and down to Brands. So. There's a lot of potential, a lot left in, which we just got to fine tune it. The basic running gear is the same as last year, but obviously the silhouette and the sort of changed. Still a Volvo brand, but sort of changed its identity, and over the moon way it's going.
Ollie James, round 2. Now going back to round 1, you've certainly had the pace in those races.
Yeah, at Brands Hatch we had some incredible pace. We knew that the modifications over the winter was really going to work. By the end of the weekend, we were dropping lap times in within half a second of the top guys, but problem with the engine, little small part, 30 seconds from the end, and that was that.
Reminiscent, I suppose, of last season at Snetterton.
Exactly the same problem we had at Brands Hatch, the same with Snetterton last year. The same very, very small, little tiny part, a little screw that basically keeps the air in the system.
You need to change that screw.
We've got a brand new screw and we've got a brand new system to go with the screw now.
Looking good for race 1?
Yeah, looking good. They did disqualify some lap times because of the track limits, but I think we were just pushing too hard because we knew we had the pace here. Best lap time worked out at 3rd, but we'll see what we can do from the back.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ollie's got some work to do from there. Ryan Smith on pole position. Stuart Oliver completes the front row. Then David Jenkins and Matt Summerfield. Shane Brereton and Luke Taylor on row 3. Terry Gibbon ahead of Michael Oliver. And the grid for the Division 1 Class A runners completed by Ray Coleman and Ollie James. Ryan Smith's pole time, a 1:11.6. He was a 10th quicker than Stuart Oliver. As we go on board with Luke Taylor on the outside of row 3. You qualify here at Pembrey. It's really important, because you need that inside run down into Hatchett's hairpin, which is where they're coming up to now. Ollie James breaks ranks, looks to the outside line of Michael Oliver to make an early pass, but they're side by side going down into Hatchett's off the start. Luke Taylor around the outside as well. Getting into the lead as expected, Ryan Smith, but it was really that outside line for Stuart Oliver has punished him. He's lost 1 position to Dave Jenkins. Matt Summerfield's gone through on the inside line. And Ryan Smith is out front. Summerfield side by side with Jenkins. Then Shane Brereton. The 2 Kelso machines side by side. Brereton on the outside line, but Oliver dives up the inside now of Matt Summerfield. Very, very busy as the chasing pack. This is all over second place. Ryan Smith is already away. Look at the lead that Smith's got for this joshing for second position, which Dave Jenkins has at the moment. Brereton dives up the inside of Matt Summerfield. Brereton up into 3rd place. He's about to challenge for 2nd place. On board Luke Taylor, David Jenkins there. Left of shot, has a problem. Stuart Oliver's on the grass as well. Oliver rejoins. Ollie James is past Stuart Oliver. Looking to the outside line as well there, I think, was Michael Oliver. But Dave Jenkins had a problem there. and has dropped right back. He was up into second. Jenkins, we thought, was going to take the battle to Ryan Smith. On board with Luke Taylor. Second meeting for the Jochen Hahn built truck. There he is, the red 79, centre of shot at the moment. Looks to the outside line here of the HRVS machine of Matt Summerfield, who's rightly got the inside line. Ollie James trying to get involved in the mix as well. Stuart Oliver's coming back. The Synergy Kelsa 7 looking up the inside line here of Luke Taylor. That start really did show how important pole position is. That's a lesson for the drivers in the reverse grid races a little bit later on. If you've got the inside pole, it's so useful here in these big trucks. Sure, maybe in a more nimble formula you can have a run around the outside if you get a good run down into the hairpin, but Ryan Smith knew exactly what he was doing there, and it was Stuart Oliver who missed out. And see how much ground Oliver has lost. There were other things that happened on lap 1 as well, but he's chipping away trying to get back in. Incredibly, the Kelsa truck we're looking at there, Shane Brereton is in second. You'd think he was the race leader because there's no one in front of him. Well, there is someone in front of him, but visibly no one as far as the shot goes. So a reminder, it's Ryan Smith out front, Shane Brereton in second. Ollie James battling hard here with Stuart Oliver. Up ahead of them, it's Terry Gibbon. Terry, who you might remember, and that's a sad sight to see Dave Jenkins' truck in the pits. It looks like he is the first casualty of the meeting. I was going back talking about Terry Gibbon, who was in the interview saying that at Brands Hatch that they was going to use that meeting as a test outing, and it seems to have worked very well indeed because he qualified 7th here and he's running in with the pack. So Terry Gibbon, a returnee to the championship this year, proving that he's lost none of that old magic. 37 truck going well. He's got multi-champion Stuart Oliver right behind him at the moment. Dave Jenkins back on track. That's good to see. So they're trying to diagnose whatever is wrong and hopefully sort it out. Jenks has lost a bit of time, but it's great for the race fans here to see that truck back out on track as Stuart Oliver goes down the inside line now of Terry Gibbon. Nicely thought out move by Oliver, side by side. Gibbon seeds it. Oliver on his recovery going through. Third place Summerfield in the blue 84. Fourth place is Luke Taylor. So Stuart Oliver back up into 5th position. Race leaders on the main straight. Meanwhile, Dave Jenkins working the Digraph 69. Dave saying how close the championship was, but Stuart Oliver coming into this round leads by 2 points from Ryan Smith and Matt Summerfield. A further point down is Shane Brereton, and then Dave Jenkins a couple of points down on Shane Brereton. So it's all very close after the first 4 races of the year. At Brands Hatch, Luke Taylor has a wide moment, loses 2 places there. Terry Gibbon nips through on the inside line, and if you look in the rear-facing camera, Ollie James trying to come up as well. So competitive. Remember that the grid for race 2 will be the reverse of the positions in this race. So if Ryan Smith hangs on, he will have to start at the back. Haven't seen Ryan do any overtaking so far, but what he has done is sent a message out to everybody to say in qualifying that he's the fastest truck. He's got the fastest lap in this one as well, 1:12.037, which compares to a 1:11.6 in qualifying, and that message is there for everybody. But the key is going to be getting through the field in the reverse grid races for those valuable championship points. 10 points for a win, 9 for second, 1 point for each place thereafter. So very straightforward, easy to understand for the race fans point system. There is the defending champion Ryan Smith, the Taylor's PT Hire back truck, looking absolutely superb, and Ryan as ever driving well. Another relative newcomer to truck racing, but he's built a heck of a lot of experience in this formula, and the experience that he has gained he is using to very, very good effect indeed. There is Shane Brereton, I beg your pardon, Matt Summerfield up ahead of Shane Brereton. Stuart Oliver's made further progress as we look at Ollie James still dicing with Terry Gibbon. Then it's Luke Taylor in 79. No reports of any track limits problems in this race at the moment, which is very good news indeed. Gibbon in 5th place at the moment, and James finds that gap down the inside line and makes the pass, looking to try and get to that 3rd place pace that he said he had in qualifying before the removal of some of the times. So James, really, I guess a lot of the drivers will use this as the warm-up for the meeting. 5 races the norm in British truck racing if you catch us at the British rounds. And the man who is 10 or so seconds clear, Ryan Smith. What a drive we've seen from pole position from Smith. Smith out front. There is Terry Gibbon still chasing hard, with just behind him Ray Coleman in the number 2. I think Ray, the only other driver we haven't name checked in terms of the race, but we've righted that now. Ray runs a little bit wide there, and he's going to chase Terry Gibbon down the straight. So we could well see Luke Taylor and Ray Coleman off the front in race number 2 here for the Class A runners, down into Hatchets for the last time. But out front, Ryan Smith still there. Here comes Coleman having a look down the inside line. Terry Gibbon holds on to position. Great battle between these two. Matt Summerfield is immediately ahead of them. Summerfield in for 7 points potentially in this one. Ryan Smith is, I think, going to reclaim the championship lead. There is Shane Brereton, who is going to, I think, also move up the order too. Here's the checkered flag though. Ryan Smith takes the win. Dave Jenkins not classified, he was behind him, so it's Smith from Brereton, Stuart Oliver in 3rd, Matt Summerfield 4th from Terry Gibbon, Ray Coleman 6th from Luke Taylor, and Ollie James completing the finishers.
Reigning champion Ryan Smith, another first place, another good lead.
Yeah, we went out in free practice and we had massive problems with the truck that kind of followed on from Brands Hatch, so we went out in qualifying a little bit downhearted, but got P1 in qualifying. The race started and we just got away, and look again, Stuart's proved how fast he is, Matt, Dave and a few others, so you know it's really competitive yet again, but we're quietly confident as usual.
Michael Oliver, not the best of weekends. Qualifying, some problems. Race 1, disaster. What's the story behind it all?
Just disaster it is. The basically number 4 pistons decided to melt. In problem with the injector coming together. It's just put us out for the weekend, unfortunately.
So it's game over for now, but hopefully not for the season, because that's sort of not the Kelso way.
No, we'll get it going. Some by hook or by crook, it'll be out with Thruxton.
The first race for the Class Bs saw fun at turn 1 and problems for Tony Smith in blue, but pole position man Simon Cole nipped through in the Beast and enjoyed the early stages ahead of the 2 Johns, Bowler and Powell. Whilst the Beast pulled clear on his way to fastest lap as well, Adam Bint fought his way through from the back of the grid, but some great showboating for Simon Cole to take the checkered flag. John Powell in 2nd place, with 3rd place again from the back, Adam Bint. Here's how they finished: Cole from Powell and Bint, John Bowler in 4th place from Tony Smith, great recovery for him, Trevor Martin next from Paddy Mack, Jim Bennett and Brad Smith. Brad Smith starts on pole position for race 2 here at Pembrey. Jim Bennett to his outside in the green 28, Seven Atkinson. Then it's Paddy Mack and Trevor Martin on row 2, Tony Smith and John Bowler row 3, Adam Bint on row 4 with John Powell, Simon Cole, Luke Garrett and Mika Mackinnon, championship leader, completing the run. Here they come down into Hatchets. The lights are off. We're underway and racing here. Brad Smith looks okay. To his outside is Jim Bennett. Some place changes behind them. Very busy, of course, down here into the hairpin. A little bit of progress made by Mika Mackinnon already. I'm looking at the front. Jim Bennett's gone round the outside line. So Jim Bennett, I think, is going to emerge at DeBenny in lead position from John Bowler. Bowler up from the 3rd row of the grid into 2nd place. He's past Paul McCumsky. Bowler very quick. Great race tactics going down into the hairpin from the 3rd row. His fellow 3rd row starter was Tony Smith in the blue Sisu, and Bowler challenging for the lead now. So will he be able to go through? Jim Bennett out front at the moment, the popular Norfolkman, but runs wide. Bowler senses an opportunity, side by side, and John Bowler goes through into lead position. Jim Bennett down to 2nd, might get hung out to dry here because Paul McCumsky's coming through. Trevor Martin in the 19 is there as well. Then it's Tony Smith, followed by Mika Mackinnon side by side with Adam Bint in the bonneted trucks. Goodness me, Tony Smith's on a bit of a mission here, but it's John Bowler out front from Paul McCumsky. Super start to our 2nd race. They go through Honda. down the main straight here, and here comes Paul McCumsky having a look down the inside line on the outside. McCumsky has to go defensive there from Tony Smith, goes for the outside line, but Smith might fancy his chances on the inside line. Paddy Mack goes wide. Smith, look how tight Smith was, almost tight enough to have a look at John Bowler. Incredible stuff. Smith up into second place. That's Sisu handling really well. If you can get tight into the corner and maintain the speed, that's what it's all about here. Smith up to second, so Bowler leading this. Jim Bennett followed by Adam Bint in the number 5. Bint's made a Binty dent into Mackinnon's championship lead after the podium in race number 1. Mackinnon looking slow here. I think he's got a problem. He's going into the pits. The man who's travelled all the way from Finland to race trucks here in South Wales, the championship leader, is Adam Bint off the track on the grass. Binty having to come through from the back. In theory, Adam Bint, of course, normally you'd expect him to be fast in qualifying. He started off the back after qualifying in race number 1. So if he works his way through the field, Binty could find himself with 5 reverse grid races off the back. He's well in the mix. Simon Cole is there as well. He's got all the hard work to do. Luke Garrett in behind as well. That's the bad news. The Mad Croc is out of the race. The one of the 2 Sisus racing in Class B. And that means that Adam Bint, if he gets a good result here, could close in further, possibly take the championship lead away from the Finn. Simon Cole making great progress. Luke Garrett looks around the outside line of Adam Bint here. Sisu inside, MAN on the outside line. Luke Garrett's immaculate truck. He deserves a little bit of luck after 2 difficult meetings. The Brands Hatch one at the end of last year, of course, ended with that horrendous incident as we go back to what is now the battle for second position, because we've got Tony Smith out front. You see a blue blur in the distance. And second position now between John Bowler and Paul McCumsky. Well, Bowler clearly very quick off the start. Paddy Mack started in front of him on the grid, and Bowler read that first corner very well indeed. He's still in second place. Paddy Mack in third position. Here's the race leader though, Tony Smith. Fastest lap of the race at the moment with Simon Cole, who now comes through. Simon Cole up into second place. The Beast is through on the inside. Torrid brands for him, but Pembrey looking to be a lot happier here for the Beast, who comes through and takes second position and will try and set about chasing Tony Smith. I don't know if he's going to have time, but Cole won't be too unhappy if he can finish in second, because it was a win in race number 1, as you saw. John Bowler still third, Paul McCumsky in 4th. McCumsky a regular on the podium, 3rd in the class last year in the championship, of course. Very consistent runner. And then in behind it's John Powell in truck number 6, who was up at the sharp end in race number 1 as well. You'd be forgiven for thinking this was perhaps the lead battle, but it's not, because Tony Smith has got a Ryan Smith style lead here going on out front. Here's Brad Smith, who started on pole position. He's alongside Jim Bennett, and he's still chasing Jim Bennett, so those two, Brad not looking overly happy there coming out of Hatchets. It's possibly Brad's first time here at Pembrey. So he's got to learn he's learning the tracks as well as the truck at the moment, so double learning opportunity. Once you get bedded into the racing, he'll be a lot happier, as we now watch the number 6 machine of John Powell piling the pressure on the 14 machine of John Bowler. Paul McCumsky having cleared Bowler for 3rd place, so the podium looking relatively settled, but John Powell will have something to say about that. And he's having a look at the inside, then goes back to the outside, dives back down the inside again. Sold Bowler a dummy there. Great move by John Powell. Hard on the brakes. Can he maintain it? Is he going to run wide on the exit? No, that was very well measured indeed by John Bowler, who passes by John Powell, who passes John Bowler and takes 4th position. So it's Smith, Cole, McCumsky, Powell and Bowler. Out front is Tony Smith. There is Tony. We briefly had a look at Simon Cole running in 2nd. There is Simon, still showboating. If you're going sideways, you're not going forward. But I think he knows that 2nd position is going to be what he achieves in this race. Paul McCumsky getting the back end out as well and giving us some terrific entertainment. So it's going to be Sisu from Mercedes, Volvo, Ford, Foden and MAN. Class B, ultra competitive. There is the checker. Tony Smith takes the win. Simon Cole in 2nd. And we wait to see Paul McCumsky coming through. Here is Paddy out of Honda corner, runs wide and is going to complete our Class B podium here at Pembrey. Here's the result: Smith from Cole, McCumsky, Cole incidentally getting fastest lap, John Powell in fourth from John Bowler, then Luke Garrett, Adam Bint, Brad Smith, Jim Bennett. Non-finishes Trevor Martin and Mika Mackinnon.
What a fantastic finish and such a clear lead there.
Well, I had to battle past from fifth and get into past Bowler. He was driving well, and then got the lead. I just had to push when I got the lead and hopefully keep my foot down, and they didn't catch me.
Simon, 2 races down, and if that hasn't proof that the beast, when it's on form, it really is on form.
Yeah, really happy with her now. It's took a long time to get there, a few meetings and very frustrated, but when it's on song, it's got to be one of the best lorries out there.
Now race 1, just going back to that was one heck of a lead, and you're just pulling away.
Yeah, no, she'll comfortable, get into a rhythm with her, and she stays like that every lap, so no, she was good, she was going well.
Paddy, a great race there, and a great battle with you and John Bowler.
Yeah, fair credit to John. I kept him on his toes, and threw him a few dummies here and there, but I knew where I was going to pass him, and I never showed my hand there, and see his tyres was going off, and I got him down the back straight there, coming into the start-finish line, and we were inches away from one another and never touched. It was a right good battle.
So Perry, Assistant Product Marketing Manager for Goodyear, title sponsor of the series. Great to see you out for this next round as well. You were at all the rounds this season, I believe?
Yeah, so we're at all the rounds. Here we're showcasing at Pembrey, which is the second one of the season. And we'll be here at the biggest ones in Donington, Thruxton and so forth. So, of course, if there are any questions from the public, they can more than feel free to come and give us a shout here on the stand.
What are the product ranges behind that?
Yes, so with the increased technology and customer demand out there in the marketplace, Goodyear, we've got 2 flagship products. So we've got our Fuel Max and our K-Max products. One really developed for fuel efficiency, which is Fuel Max that you'll see here behind me. And the other one, which is the K-Max product, which is up to 35% more mileage for their predecessors.
Big problems at the start of the next race, which was for the A's and B's combined. Luke Taylor, Terry Gibbon and Shane Brereton all involved in contact. You had to take avoiding action here, and that's exactly what Stuart Oliver did. The Kelsa 7 clear of Dave Jenkins, who clearly was rejuvenated at this point. In third place, Ryan Smith, the joint championship leader coming into this race. Wide moment for Jenkins. He catches a cone but would rejoin to get a podium in the overall final results. Mika Mackinnon was running well there from Simon Cole. Tony Smith on the pace once again from Paul McCumsky. Things look fairly settled in the sharp end of things at Class A. Also running well was this man in the MAN, Luke Garrett in Class B. Stuart Oliver took the checkered flag ahead of Ryan Smith, and in Class B, Mika Mackinnon took the flag first from Simon Cole and Luke Garrett, but Oliver, Mackinnon and Cole all dropped back for overspeeding. So the result: Smith from Brereton, Jenkins, Gibbon, Taylor in Class A. Class B goes to Luke Garrett from Mackinnon, McCumsky, Cole, Bowler, Martin and Vint. Fastest laps, Ryan Smith and Mika Mackinnon.
Luke, that was a good result. Good to see you back on the podium.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, I think, obviously with our bad sort of season last year in Division 1. But yeah, I'm really happy that we sort of brought the truck in a good position this time. So yeah, I'm happy.
Great to see you back in this division, as you made your mark a couple of years ago there, so I take it you're here for the whole campaign?
Yeah, we're going to do the full season again. It was a difficult year in Division 1 last year, so we've come back and enjoy it a bit more. Come back in Division 2 where we sort of had a good result a couple of years ago.
The show trucks are of course a key part of every British Truck Racing Championship meeting, and the winners at Pembrey: Mervyn Thomas for Best Working Fleet, Best Recovery, Jay McCarthy, a double win for BT Jones, Best Interior and Best Rigid Truck. Tom Nutt won the Best Light Commercial, Best Semi-Custom, and the Best Company Owned, Best American, Best Custom and Best Trucking Show, Graham Paul. Congratulations to all our winners.
Synergy has been supporting the championship for quite some time. Just tell us how you first got involved and how long you've been involved.
Yeah, well, it was 10 years ago that we contacted Stuart. We had a braking product that we wanted to test in extreme conditions, so we asked the current British champion at the time if he would trial the pads for us, and we provide products that are really suitable for the trucking industry in general, and this is the ideal place really to promote it for everybody. So a normal truck might get up to 400-500 degrees. With Stuart's, with his air cooling, it gets to about 800-900 degrees, so you really get to see the pads performing at extreme conditions.
Luke Taylor starts on pole position with Terry Gibbon alongside. Then it's Dave Jenkins and Shane Brereton. Row 3, Ryan Smith and Ollie James. Ray Coleman and Matt Summerfield, followed by Stuart Oliver. Jim Bennett and Brad Smith on the head of Group B. Tony Smith and Adam Bint, and Trevor Martin and John Bowler. Simon Cole, Paul McCumsky, Mika Mackinnon, Luke Garrett and John Powell complete the grid. We are racing here. Look at that start then, and contact between Brereton and Dave Jenkins. They're both getting stuck in. Ryan Smith's immediately behind. Brereton to the outside line. He's going to try and pass Gibbon as they go down into the hairpin. 3 wide virtually coming out. Jenkins on the tighter line will have a little bit less momentum. Terry Gibbon did very well to hold his nerve there. Hold on to your hats for the second start, because the Class B runners are already down at hatchets. They've made a super start. It really is difficult to know where to look. Going to stick with the main picture for the moment. The Class A runners. Terry Gibbon has broken free. What a start, and he really did hold his nerve. Matt Summerfield up ahead of Ryan Smith. Then it's Ray Coleman. Stuart Oliver is next up. Oliver then followed by Shane Brereton in the 17. Brereton has scored very well. Ollie James won one of the earlier races as well. So James finally getting away. Are we going to see another first-time seasonal winner here with Terry Gibbon, the returnee to the championship? Only his second meeting back after a long layoff of truck racing, and he's got a huge lead here. Made a great start. It wasn't easy for him off the start, but he is away in front. Matt Summerfield in second. Look at the squabble for third place. Jenkins on the outside line. Ryan Smith on the inside. They're battle-scarred. They've all been getting stuck in. Meanwhile, John Bowler and Paul McCumsky, those two very evenly matched. They've had some great racing so far this weekend, and that is going to continue with Paul McCumsky going through and trying to take the lead of the Class B runners. You can see why the race fans come and watch this racing, because the start of the meeting, we had the individual races, put them all in together, and you just don't know as a spectator where to look. You've got 2 races going on, and they're reverse grid races as well. It's the best format in British motor racing that you can think of, and it's not partial grid reverse, total grid reversal. And we see passing. There is Adam Bint being chased by Mika Mackinnon. Cracking racing going on between those two boys. Then it's Jim Bennett in the 28, Simon Cole, Trevor Martin is there as well. He's heading out towards the far stages of the track. A very wide outside line there for the number 6 machine of John Powell. John having come through from the back of the grid. Shane Brereton making progress again. Brereton clear now of Stuart Oliver. Then it's Ray Coleman in the lantern number 2. Hard on the brakes goes Stuart Oliver. These boys have really got stuck in this weekend. The great thing again about Pembrey, it's a 1.5 mile circuit. There's plenty of space for all the spectators to spread out, pick a great spot and enjoy the spectacle. Haven't quite got the sunshine today, but the heat is coming from the track as we look at the battle for second place. Summerfield and Ryan Smith. Multi-champion Summerfield lost the title last year to Ryan Smith. He wants to get the title back. He's been fast and consistent so far this season. And was joint second in the standings, coming away from Brands Hatch with the man who's right behind him. But Terry Gibbon, take nothing away from Gibbon at all, who is away and down the road and building a lead. It's exactly what you need to do. Now Gibbon is pulling away from goodness only knows how many championship titles immediately behind him. Shane Brereton running well. Brereton's lap time's looking very good. He wants to get stuck into Dave Jenkins again, hopefully not as physical as they were off the line. Those boys were getting stuck in. Summerfield still second, Ryan Smith in third. Here come Jenkins and Brereton. Look at Jenkins giving him room here. He might tighten up a bit into the hairpin, but Jenkins was not getting physical there, but runs wide. Stuart Oliver sensed that, went down the inside line. Oliver moves up a position now and has got to try and hunt down Shane Brereton and get past his fellow Kelso runner. But the Synergy truck chasing hard. Ray Coleman in the mix as well, trying to now get on terms with Dave Jenkins. Class B, great action here with John Bowler about to be challenged by Luke Garrett on the inside line. Mika Mackinnon wipers on, looks down the inside line of John Bowler, who runs a little bit wide, back end comes around. The beast is in behind as well. Simon Cole challenging hard for position as well. Super shot of these trucks working the Pembrey circuit so hard. This one of the biggest meetings for the Welsh circuit in the calendar. Mackinnon through on the inside line. Mackinnon makes up the position. Garrett's going to repay the compliment on the next corner because he's got the inside line, or is he? Mackinnon left a little bit of room but had a wee bit more pace there and holds on. Meanwhile, we go back to Adam Bint in the 5 truck now being lapped by Matt Summerfield. Binty not looking very happy at all here in the Volvo White, but this is a fine race that's on for second position at the moment, and Matt Summerfield hangs on, but Ryan Smith's getting his nose up the inside. Smith is challenging, they're side by side, but Summerfield's going to have the inside line as they go through to Benny, and will try and annex the position back. Shane Brereton is coming through as well. Here we go, past the crossover point, and Matt Summerfield is hanging on. Summerfield's still there, but look at Shane Brereton getting right stuck into the defending champion on the outside line, can't quite do it, and Ryan Smith now has to go defensive. Smith is under pressure. There haven't been too many times this year when we've said that. I love the way, incidentally, Ryan Smith said earlier on that he was quietly confident. Ryan's never quiet about anything, is he? He is confident. He's a great character to have in the paddock. Through past Brereton goes Stuart Oliver. Where has Brereton's challenge gone? He's dropped right the way back now, and it's freeing up Ryan Smith to challenge. Here's the race leader in Class B. Tony Smith looks like he's going to take the Sisu to another win. Mika Mackinnon is in second position, a fair way down. Tony Smith's just checked out and gone down the road, much as Terry Gibbon has in his MAN. Gibbon's still out front at the moment. Adam Bint here is playing the game of trying to get the truck to the finish and trying to get, if he keeps going, he might finish top 10, might grab a useful championship point. But Tony Smith goes past him. Ryan Smith now being caught by Stuart Oliver. This is going to buoy Stuart Oliver enormously that he is catching Smith. Great battle here in Class B with Luke Garrett, John Powell up front, then John Bowler in the 14 as well. These boys not right up at the sharp end where they would want to be. This man is, though, Tony Smith, the Kent-based driver. Look, you can see Mika Mackinnon in the distance in second place, so it's a Sisu 1-2 here. Shane Brereton, fastest lap of the race on lap 5 for the MAN TGX. Brereton setting a 1:12.4. They're on to the last lap, and Matt Summerfield has broken free now. He's closing down on Terry Gibbon. Can Terry Gibbon hold his nerve? This is where he held his nerve on lap number 1, and Summerfield is closing in his MAN, runs a little bit wide there. Gibbon still is out front, a 1:12.65. Gibbon on his best lap is quicker than Summerfield, but can he maintain it? Are the tyres going to hang together? Is the nerve going to hold for the 37-man as well? Ryan Smith still back in third place, but it's Gibbon who is still there. Stuart Oliver trying to close in on Ryan Smith. This just goes to show you how competitive the British Truck Racing Championship is. Gibbon out front, Summerfield may well have a miracle of Ryan Smith, and that potentially could be a game changer in this last lap. Stuart Oliver, though, is on the back end of Ryan Smith. Here come the Class B runners. Mackinnon second, challenge on for third place. Simon Cole goes through and takes that final podium slot from Paul McCumpsky for the moment. He's got one more lap to do, but the Class A runners are still fighting it out. Now, is he going to hang on to it? Here come the race leaders towards the checkered flag. It is a win for Terry Gibbon. Look at that, the 4 trucks all together. Gibbon, Summerfield, Smith, Oliver, Brereton not too far away either in 5th position. And in Class B, Tony Smith is going to take another win. David Jenkins here in 6th place in Class A, grabs some points. Then we've got Jim Bennett being passed by Ray Coleman, who will take 7th. Ray Coleman in Class A. Super racing going on in B. Like I say, difficult to know where to look, but some great racing. Tony Smith 9 seconds clear of Mika Mackinnon. He takes a win. No showboating from him, keeps it all pointing in the right direction. He wanted to make sure of that checker. Donuts though for the winner. Terry Gibbons celebrates a win, his second meeting back in truck racing and right at the top level. Matt Summerfield second, Ryan Smith from Stuart Oliver, Brereton, Jenkins, Coleman next, then Tony Smith wins Class B from Mika Mackinnon and Simon Cole, Paddy Mack fourth from Brad Smith and John Bowler.
Well, that went well. Good clear lead there for ages, and they were just starting to catch it towards the end.
Yeah, fantastic race. Got a good start. Managed to get away on the start. I think there was a bit of contact behind me or something, but managed to break a lead and just thought, right, I'm getting out of there. I'm going. So
that's your first win this season, yeah?
Yeah, first win, first time back in 5 years. We've been away for 5 years, so yeah, fantastic. What a team effort.
Matt Summerfield, another great podium there for you and a strong finish.
Yeah, it was hard out there, mate. Ryan was breathing all down me like a rat up a drain pipe, but got a few tweaks to do now and get comfortable with it, and hopefully we can have just a nice, comfortable next race, really.
Welcome back to Pembrey, the fifth and final race of the weekend about to get underway. Ray Coleman starting on pole position with Dave Jenkins alongside. Stuart Oliver and Shane Brereton on row 2. Matt Summerfield and Ryan Smith followed by Luke Taylor and Terry Gibbon. Ollie Janes completes the Class A runners. The Bs headed by Adam Bint and Jim Bennett from John Powell and Luke Garrett. Trevor Martin and John Bowler from Brad Smith, Paul McCumsky, Simon Cole, Mika Mackinnon and Tony Smith at the back. So a full field of trucks about to be unleashed on this 1.456 mile Pembrey circuit. Coleman on the inside, will he make it count? Dave Jenkins though will want to bag a win. Jenkins fifth in the championship and has a very good run indeed, as does Stuart Oliver from the outside of row 2. Matt Summerfield from the outside of row 3. What was it I said in race number 1? The inside is key, but the boys here have proved me wrong. They've got a good run down the outside line, and poor old Ray Coleman finds himself on the grass and a lot of work to do. Class B's down at Hatchets for the first time. Adam Bint looking to score some decent points here. Binty is away down on the championship. It's not been a great meeting for him. The Class B championship headed by Mika Mackinnon, 57 points to Simon Cole now on 49 in second. Cole has leapfrogged up the order this weekend, up into second place in the championship. Third, John Bowler and Tony Smith, who's leapfrogged up as well. Those are joint third. And in Class A, Dave Jenkins fifth in the championship. He leads this race. Second in the championship now is Shane Brereton, followed by Matt Summerfield and Stuart Oliver. So all very close. Oliver in second here could well get back up into third place in the standings, depending how this all works out. Meanwhile, John Powell very close indeed to Adam Bint, but it's Binty showing them the way round at the moment. Powell in second position. A great start from the Bs. Paul McCumsky, mega consistent. He at the moment is fifth in the championship, and it's so close. I guess mathematically Class B second to fifth is closer a shade than the Class A runners, but Class A very close in its own right as well. And I'll tell you what, there are a lot more car racing championships that would wish that their championships were as close as the points are in this one. Shane Brereton, is he going to hold on to second place in the standings here? He's got Ryan Smith right behind him. Smith the championship leader, but the race leader is David Jenkins, who seems to be finally getting things sorted out. A little bit of luck, of course, always comes into play as well, and that Jenks magic, the Jenks skill, keeping the 69 digraph machine out front at the moment as Mika Mackinnon dives around the outside line of Adam Bint. He moves up into third place. Adam Bint has not looked happy this weekend. John Powell in front at the moment. Paul McCumsky, Mika Mackinnon, then Adam Bint. Inside line on John Bowler is Simon Cole, who really has got the beast running well. And I bet if you'd have asked him at the end of Pembrey if he would be happy being in second position in the championship, he'd have bitten your arm off. Actually, the Croc's probably more likely to do that. But we go back to the Class A machines having a good race. This fairly settled so far. Summerfield, you just sense from that interview with Matt Summerfield at the end of the last race that he's getting sorted. He's beginning to feel at one with this new truck that he's got this year. and he's bagging consistent points, and that's what this championship is about. Consistent finishes as far up the order as you can do it. Mackinnon, Powell, then Cole in the Class B runners. The weather has improved a tad for this race. Summerfield still with Ryan Smith behind him, then Shane Brereton, and Shane, of course, still very much learning the art of truck racing himself. And again, depending how this race finishes, will go. He's on 58 points at the moment, Ryan Smith on 65. So Ryan effectively would have to non-finish this race for Shane Brereton, or indeed any of the chasing drivers, to take the championship lead. Brereton looks at the outside line of the reigning champion, not afraid to do that. Loses a little bit of ground as a result going into the hairpin. So coming out of it, it is Summerfield still there from Ryan Smith. Mika Mackinnon going out of shot. Through goes Simon Cole up into second position. John Powell down into third. And was that Mackinnon coming into pit lane? Mika Mackinnon has a problem, and the Finn is paying a visit to the pits. So a problem for Mika, and backhands the lead then to John Powell. John, a driver who's used to doing a lot of winning, but will he be able to tame the beast here? The beast has been so quick, and more importantly, of course, reliable this weekend. It's been very well driven by Simon Cole, and Cole here will fancy his chances of another win and moving closer to Mika Mackinnon in the points table. Stuart Oliver goes through shot. Oliver running in second place. Still this massive battle going on for third, and it's a three-way fight at the moment. Brereton at the back of the trio. Brereton again tries that wide line into the hairpin. What might work a little bit better for him is maybe take a wide line in, but grab the apex and carry more momentum through down towards Spitfires and DeBenny. And maybe when he watches this back, that could be an option next time they come to Pembrey in the autumn. You can see he's dropped a little bit of time here at the moment on Ryan Smith and Matt Summerfield. Those two guys in turn chasing this man, Stuart Oliver, who's running in second. Still David Jenkins doing a fantastic job out in front. Simon Cole now the leader in Class B. What has happened to John Powell? He looks like he is in pit lane. Tony Smith coming in as well. It's all going off, isn't it? My goodness me, we've got drivers coming in and having problems. Here's Terry Gibbon side by side with Ollie James. Both of these boys picking up very popular wins at this meeting. They're dicing it out at the moment for sixth position. Traffic to deal with for the front runners in Class A. Matt Summerfield deals with it well. The wipers on for the number one, Ryan Smith, and then Shane Brereton. And this is a typical truck race situation for me, where you get three drivers. Dave Jenkins is on his last lap. This is going to be a super win from Dave Jenkins. This is what we know this man is capable of. Former champion, and he's really pulled away from the others. Truck racing out of the top draw for Jenkins, but those three dicing it out for third place, Summerfield, Smith and Brereton. Nothing to choose between those drivers at all. Jenkins has got the fastest lap of the race as well. That underlines his commitment and his skill. The team's prep on the truck now, and this is going to carry him forward to Thruxton, which he will look forward to. Through on the inside of the Class B leader goes Matt Summerfield. Summerfield now has got a bit of breathing space between himself and Ryan Smith, so it looks like it's going to be a podium for Matt Summerfield. So it's a good point score for him, good consistent point scoring. But look at Jenkins, decent lead, 4.5 seconds over Stuart Oliver in second place. Oliver will, I think, maintain a good strong position in the championship. I think third place behind Shane Brereton with the finish in this one. But David Jenkins takes the win as well as the fastest lap. Maximum points for Jenks, consolidates fifth position in the championship. Stuart Oliver takes second. Then in third place it's going to be Matt Summerfield from Ryan Smith, and showboating again from Simon Cole, who has tamed the beast again this weekend. Brereton immediately behind him takes fifth position. We've got some great racing going on in Class B. Paddy Mack has taken second place. We're looking at Ray Coleman at the minute, chasing Trevor Martin. Trev is running in 3rd position in class. It's going to be a podium for Trev. Through goes Ollie James in the 22 machine, just up ahead of Ray Coleman. It was Cole in Class B from Paddy Mack. Trevor Martin did indeed take a podium, but David Jenkins win and fastest lap in the last race of the weekend. Confirmation of the result: Jenkins from Oliver, Summerfield and Smith. Shane Brereton next from Terry Gibbon, and then Ollie James, Ray Coleman. Simon Cole wins Class B ahead of Paul McCumsky, and then Trevor Martin. John Bowler in 4th from Mika Mackinnon, Adam Bint, John Powell from Tony Smith, Jim Bennett and Brad Smith in 18th.
Dave, we said you were strong at Pembrey. What a brilliant way to finish.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant, dominant performance by the end of the weekend. But that, on the scale of the weekend we've had, that was the easy bit. I couldn't have done it without my team and sponsors this weekend, and family and everybody involved. They've had to really support me through thick and thin this weekend. And we've had driver error, we've had mechanical failure, we've had a bit of bad luck, and then the icing on the cake, we had a dominant win. So really pleased.
Stuart, busy weekend. What a great race though.
Absolutely, yeah. Them's what we want. You know, it was. I was surprised how quick it came onto Division 2. You know, the Class B trucks was very well early on in the race, and that sort of certainly spiced it up from where I was. So, but you know, Dave had the legs going up the back there, and I could gain on him on the braking and through the corners, but once he got on the straight, he was just gone. So, a great weekend.
Congratulations, another podium. Good to see you back here again.
Yeah, if we just keep dropping on the podium, even if it's at the back end of the podium, it's what matters, isn't it? Keep collecting the points. We had that non-finish today with obviously all the front bumper all collapsed in and the radiator out of it. They're valuable points, they are, even if you finish in the middle of the pack. No, but we're still learning loads on this truck, and if we get to know this anything like our old truck, then you know we're going to be in the zone, aren't we?
Matt Summerfield a strong 3rd place in the championship behind Shane Brereton and leader Ryan Smith. Stuart Oliver 4th from Dave Jenkins, then Ray Coleman, Luke Taylor, Terry Gibbon, Ollie James and Michael Oliver. Mika Mackinnon still leads Class B, but Simon Cole has eaten into that. 4 points the lead now. Paul McCumsky in 3rd, John Bowler in 4th from Tony Smith. Racing completed here at Pembrey. Hope you've enjoyed it, and also hope that you'll join us at our next event at Thruxton Circuit in Hampshire. Bye for now.